All right, we're
Okay.
good.
Three, three. I said three, like my dog. One, two, four.
Yeah.
Three, two, one. Let's go. All right, my friends. Another high production, very successful real estate entrepreneur, real estate investor has made the decision to join eXp. Max Keller, how you doing, my friend?
Good, man. What's
Uh,
happening?
What's
I'm
up, dude? How
ready.
you
Let's
doing, man?
go. I
Let's
feel
go, man.
feeling good. Joined EXP. Never thought that would happen in a million years, but
Yeah,
it,
man.
you
It
know,
did. So you were like me, blindsided, I think, a little
yeah,
bit, like focused on your business,
right.
building wealth, creating passive income, all this kind of stuff, and then like a Mack truck, blindsided with EXP. So why don't you give everybody an introduction of who you are, till let everyone get to know you a little bit, and then we'll get into why you've made the decision to integrate EXP into your business.
Sure. Yeah. Well, my name is Max Keller. I'm based out of Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a full-time real estate investor agent now. The last 4 years, I've been full-time as a real estate investor, flipping houses, flipped about 120 houses here in the Metroplex, DFW area. Before that, I was a math teacher and just, wanted more income. Got into real estate, got hooked on it. I started reading books for the first time, and then I'm dyslexic. I actually didn't know that, so I really struggled to read. And everybody around me in real estate was reading. Everybody in my masterminds was reading. So I started reading. Got with a dyslexia coach. Just stopped making excuses in my life. Basically, thought anything was possible if I could believe it. I can achieve it. I really brought that to heart. And so I just started reading, and then I started writing books for me. Then I started licensing my books to other people, opened a publishing company, and now I license other people's books. And I still invest in real estate, and I'm really looking forward to, recently got licensed, and I'm building a team at EXP, and it's a beautiful thing. I wish I had done it sooner. We hear that a lot. But everything happens for a reason, I do think. And I'm just glad at this stage of my life, I'm more open-minded and listening to new opportunities. I'm turning down a lot of them, but yeah, it's a really good company. And I just really like what they're doing. I think it's the future. I think we'll look back, 5-10 years from now, and it'll be like the folks who are, the first people shopping on Amazon. It'll be like that.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw EXP, I remember telling myself, "Wow, this is very interesting, but I really don't have the time for something else." But I loved everything that I saw, and I remember telling myself that, "Hey, I'm too busy. I don't need to take anything else on, but I'm going to be kicking myself so hard if I don't do this, and it becomes what I think it's going to become." And at the time of this recording, we are just finishing up the shareholder summit this week for EXP, and we're seeing that the other traditional major brokerages are growing at 1 to 3% agent count. EXP grew 63% this year, and we're remaining holding the title as the United States fastest growing brokerage in history. And then the other interesting thing too is some of our competing brokerages that have that 1 to 3% agent growth rate. Some of those brokerages actually have negative sales growth. They're not growing their sales; they're actually decreasing. While at the same time, we had a 63% agent increase. We have an 83% increase in sales volume, and I think it's because we've just created a more efficient way to train people. The lead generation tools that we have, all that kind of stuff it just makes it a great opportunity. So you mentioned a couple of things. Let's take in a couple notes that I'd like to talk about real quick for everyone watching this. Number one, you were not a licensed agent before. You were a full-time real estate investor, real estate entrepreneur, and you saw this opportunity, made the decision like a lot of real estate investors have. Agents on our team have made that same decision, that said, "Hey, I think this is worth my time, energy, and effort to get a license because of the EXP opportunity." So you want to talk about that a little bit and what made you go down the path? Because you weren't licensed, so this
No.
must have been a very compelling opportunity.
Yes. Yeah. I did this for a reason. And the main reason is the duplication. As you can, what I think is really cool about eXp is it fits so many different people. And so it can be right for different people for different reasons. And not one reason is better than another. For me, I have a large following of people in my publishing company that are already licensed, and they are really, really struggling to scale up their brokerages, to scale up their deal flow. And that's a problem that happens across the country. So I saw eXp as a great solution to that. I just really feel like in the future, technology it's going to become more prevalent, not less. And I would just be hard pressed to find anybody to really disagree with that.
Yeah.
And, like somebody was the first person to start shopping on Amazon. And, like my parents, I love them to death. I really love my parents. They were great, great folks. They held out on Amazon as long as possible. They like going to Walmart to get some toys for the kids, right? But eventually they came to that. And so I just see it as a movement that the movement doesn't really care what Max Keller thinks about it. It's happening no matter what. And I want to participate in it. And I saw it as a very, very synergistic benefit with my investing business. And I've had multiple people join my team that have the investor background that really didn't understand. Right now in this space, this is how I see it. There's like, there's real estate agents, brokers, and there's investors. And there's like a line in between them sometimes, and they don't cross each other as much as I think they should. To me, I saw it as very synergistic. Brant, I can't even tell you how many. Let me give you a couple iterations that went through my mind. If you're an investor watching this and you're thinking about doing this, but you've heard, well, I don't want to. I like doing investing, and there's nothing wrong with that, And so, I don't want to take it away. Well, people like me and people like you, Brant. I mean, we're not doing it to take away from what we're doing; it's to add to. So here's what I found. I found that if I have a great, great network of real estate agents here locally, that when there's a deal that they don't want to put their name on, they'll give me a call and sell it to me, right? Or, see if it's a deal. Right. And what I found is like, by being an eXp and being able to sponsor them and let them be on my team, and then I have a lot of listing deals that come to me that I'm just at this stage with the publishing, I just can't handle them all. And I need to feed them to somebody without having to be a broker and run all this day-to-day stuff. And I would send them to agents that I kind of knew here and there. But, there just wasn't, when you're not communicating with people regularly, you just don't have the synergy. But now I have people on my downline that are in my local area, and I can send them the listing and they can do great on it. And I get to still participate. And then they can send me the investor deals. And it's like, and they go out and add new people to the community, which is the growth numbers that you're talking about. So when I saw the duplication and the ability to take our network that we already have and duplicate it out, it just made a lot of sense. And then when I showed it to folks who are, my friends in different masterminds that are accomplished, when they saw it, you kind of, with eXp, I would say if you're doing real estate agent and broker work full-time, it's much easier to see.
Yeah.
The investors have been a little later to see it. To me, I feel like they're about 2 years behind.
Yeah.
But investors are very, super fast paced, but sometimes to really get ahead, you got to slow down to speed up. And so for me, I slowed down. I saw what you saw. I saw a great opportunity, a great way to, not that I could just serve me, but my community, my membership. Because I have a lot of members that aren't properly monetizing their retail deals, and monetizing means serving those people. There's real people there, yeah. And now they can build a great team that's more passive and help do that. So that's kind of what appealed to me. But there's a lot of benefits too. I really do like KB Core a lot. I got a raise to come to the company. I mean, I'm saving $400 a month on my health insurance. So I'm paying $85 a month to be in the company, and I'm getting $400 off of my insurance. I think that means I'm getting paid to work here.
Yeah.
So it was just on and on, but I wish I had saw it sooner. I will say that the first time it was properly explained by somebody who gave me a professional, knew what they were doing, recruiting presentation, I did immediately say yes.
Yeah.
So, if folks are listening and they don't understand this, they don't understand the power. You need to consider the source when you're getting information. Are you getting information from somebody who's heard snippets, has never had any real success in their life? Or are you getting the advice from an entrepreneur, business owner that has a proven track record?
Right.
And that's where I'm finding is the big difference.
Yeah.
Are you finding that too?
Well, you mentioned in the beginning that your background, you're a math teacher.
Yes.
That's a conversation I like to have, with people who are looking at the model, whether they be, full-time real estate investor or an agent. It's like, let's break this down to a math question. And every time we do the math, agents they make more money with eXp. They make more money and they save more money. So the bottom line, when we plug in things from any traditional brokerage versus eXp, the number at eXp always just seems to be a lot more, and sometimes substantially more than our competing brokerages. And then imagine like you're buying a car, and you're comparing two different vehicles, but they're very similar, right? And they may be similar in the size, the type, the year, model, mileage, all those things. And but imagine that one has a substantially longer list of bells and whistles, all those things. And you mentioned it, like with medical, a lot of people don't know that. With eXp, we are typically cheaper, less expensive than a lot of the other brokerages, but we make more money. But we get things like lead generation with KV Core, with Making It Rain, with Op City. Like one of my brand new agents the other day told me they're getting 5 to 6 leads a day, right? And that's not something that you're getting at other brokerages unless they're taking a huge chunk of your commission. These are taking nothing from their commission, right? Other than our standard 80-20 split. So we get lead generation. We get ownership. We actually get ownership in the company. I've been with the company less than 2 years. I've earned over 4,000 shares of stock with a publicly traded company. Nobody else offers that. Revenue share. We get an additional income stream. We get medical benefits, all these things. We get express offers access to get investor leads. If you're a real estate investor, you can get directly to the source, motivated seller leads directly to you at no cost. There's just, there's nothing else that's competing with it. And that's why I think, guys like you and myself, probably people watching this as real estate entrepreneurs, and that's what we are, is that whenever that's our goal, is to differentiate ourselves from our competition. We try to do that in our local markets when it comes, to buying houses. Agents try to do that, differentiate themselves when it comes to, how they handle their listing presentations, all those types of things. That's what we need to do. And when we see this model that's been created, by Glenn Sanford at eXp, it's completely disrupted the marketplace. That's why it is the fastest growing brokerage in history. And he's given us a way where we can just plug into it. And that's what I tell people. It's like, this doesn't need to take you away from whatever your core business is and how you're making your money as a real estate investor or what you're doing as an agent, but it can grow it substantially if you just kind of plug into what they've already built. For me, this was an absolute, it was a no-brainer. I saw it, I'm like, I get it, got it, good, let's go. Because we could plug into it, so scalable. It's hard to scale a business, but eXp's kind of created a model where we become owners in the company, instantly have a scalable business model. The duplication, look, the sad truth is, a lot of people out there, if you're just, this could be you, and I'm hoping that this will help you, is financial education is a big thing for myself and Max, and Max and I are working on a book deal together as well under his publishing company. And that's kind of the other things that have come about for me with eXp is I've created some really, really great friendships through eXp. Of course, you and I, Max, have become fast friends, and some others like with Connor and other people. But we're having a lot of fun, making money, doing what we enjoy doing most, which is making money, having fun, but educating people, helping people. We're getting to help agents with what we're doing. And one of the things is, if you're a traditional agent, and that's all your eggs are in that basket, right? And we know there's highs and lows with that. Or if you're working a full-time job, we have to understand that, nobody gets rich and no one gets wealthy and creates that financial freedom trading time for money. So, as a real estate investor, when I saw the eXp model, which created an additional income stream, and we all know multimillionaires and billionaires have 7 to 10 income streams. eXp gave us an additional income stream. It was very passive, very scalable, and it was something that was duplicatable. Like when we bring agents in and things duplicate, that's really not available in almost any other business model. So for me, like Max, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm on a pilgrimage to spread this word. I just feel really, really passionate about it. I just did my homework, made my own decisions, and I just feel really, really, it honestly makes me really, really sad for the people that I know, love, and care about that are on the agent side, and maybe they're like at a flat fee shop and they're going, and what happens with a lot of people is they stop at one word. I've talked to so many folks who, when we say 80-20, it stops them. And they're like, oh, no, I'm already 90-10. But if you do the math, they come out so far ahead. But it's all about, it's like, like on Facebook, they'll put some bikini person and it stops the scroll. Right now, I'm encouraging entrepreneurs, true business owners who want to build passive income. You have to keep scrolling through, because if you don't listen to all the information, then you're going to hear something. Like on my investor side friends, I have friends, I mean, they can literally unlock $10,000 a month mathematically, like that. Did you hear that, folks? Like that. But they don't get it. And they're like, they stop, it stops their scroll. They're like, well, yeah, no, I don't want to have a brokerage. I don't want to do all that. I don't want to, do what's involved in that, or too much risk, or, I need to focus on this. They don't understand that it's a bolt-on business. It can be run that way on the investing side, where you're the captain of your own ship and it doesn't take away from what you're already doing. And on the agent side, the other streams that come in, the other benefits, I mean, literally you could invite 2 people to the company per year for 5 years. That's 10 people. And if they all do the same thing, which, by the way, I was an executive recruiter before I became a teacher, for 2 years straight commission. And if you're recruiting 2 people a year, introducing people, you're not a very good recruiter. Okay, so let's just get that straight. So you could literally bump into 2 people, invite them to our company, and in 5 years have invited 10 people. And if they do the same, that's $148,000. It depends on the numbers and all this, but I mean, it's $148,000 of passive income residual overrides to you per year. And that's not without even being aggressive. So I think that agents that I've talked to, they misunderstand how little effort it can be to unlock some of these other streams, like the equity and and building the team. And then on the investor side, I think they misunderstand. Sometimes I hear, how truly passive this can be. We're actually finding for a lot of investors, this is more passive than their rental portfolio that's being managed by an outside property management company. And all the gurus and everybody will tell you that's true passive income. Well, not when the air condition breaks or gets stolen and the company calls you for $4,000 and your skinny little deals aren't even cash flowing the CapEx. Duh. Wake up and make decisions for yourself. That's what I'm encouraging people to do. And sometimes you just got to shake them a little bit. And they figure it out, Brant. And everybody's coming here. They just don't know when.
Yeah, man. I've seen it. So I've been in this a little less than 2 years, year and a half. And just in the last month, I can't tell you how many agents have made the decision now to move forward to eXp. And these were people that I've spoken to a year and a half ago, but they were too busy to stop and take a look at the model. They would get little bits and pieces. They would stop their scroll, like you mentioned, right. Because, hey, I'm flat fee. I don't even have a license. I'm not going to get my license. Now, guess what? They're getting licenses. I was at a flat fee place for 10 years. So think about that. Why would I come to a brokerage with an 80-20 split? because if I hadn't done a year and a half ago, it'd probably cost myself about at least $50,000 in passive income. So there's a reason for it. People are beginning to take notice. People are starting, because we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They just can't stop from seeing, kind of not just the success that we're having, but the energy, the synergy that's coming from it. And some of the big players, because there's some really big players in our industry on the agent side and on the investor side now, huge players, some we can't even announce yet, that are coming. So
I've got one coming.
You have a big one coming, like a very.
And if these people are already rich and you're not, and you're watching this, if they're already rich, don't you think they know something that you don't know? And if so, why do you think they're coming? Because they all got misled? No. And it's like, so just, like sometimes social proof testimonials works to your advantage. Yeah. And I will say, Brant, the agents have figured it out sooner than the investors. In my just humble experience and being one of those slow investors that was too busy, now the conversation isn't eXp or someone else. I think everybody realizes where this is headed. Yeah. But now it's which team. And so you have choices of who to join. And, I chose your team for a reason. And you need to be very, very careful whose team you choose, because there's teams where you sign up, they get paid, and that's really all you get. I've had multiple people say, Max, if I had known that you were going to join, I would have signed up under you instead of the team I'm at, because you're providing all these tools and all these resources and all these books to go out and help us get more leads. And my team doesn't do anything. And that's a huge difference. And that's really where I think we're going to have the conversation for the next 2 years and beyond.
Well, yeah. So we, you and I both know we have at our team weekly masterminds. Right. We've built out onboarding training for new agents and experienced agents. We've built out a revenue share training. We've got social media training. We have specific real estate investor training. And you and I both believe in leading with value. And now I know that you're working on a book for real estate agents, right, to increase their listings, closing listing deals, and with working with new buyers. And you're working on a white label book where agents can become a published author. And rather than handing out a business card, they can hand out a book. Imagine the difference with that going into a listing presentation to give a book rather than a business card or some flyer or brochure. And I know that's not what this conversation is about, but if you're an agent, if you're an investor, you're looking to grow your business, you're looking for an additional income stream, you're looking to have equity in the brokerage that you're working for, maybe you've got, a spouse and 5 or 6 kids like Max and I do. The medical benefits may, really, really pique your interest. There's so many things here. I just feel that, if you're an agent, if you're an investor, just consider taking some time, reach out to Max, consider taking a look at the model, because that's all that we do. Max and I aren't in sales. We don't pitch, we don't promote, we don't recruit. We explain the model, the opportunity that exists, and just give people an invitation to consider, partnering their business with eXp, or really growing their business with eXp, because that's what we see time and time again. Agent, investor, it doesn't matter. People are coming in, plugging in, and their business is growing.
I've met 2 billionaires personally in the last 4 years in real estate. And both of them had the commandment of, if you read the book Fast Lane Millionaire, and if you haven't, that's a problem. But in that book, it talks about the commandment of scale. And both of them had scale. And I tried to scale up my investing company. And it's hard because flipping these individual properties, they're like, even, people go, oh yeah, we just do the cookie cutter. Yeah, but these homes are all a little bit different in most places. On the mobile home side, it was a little easier to do that. But for single family homes, it's just, some of them have different repairs that need it, and different, you have to measure the whole house. And, it's just, there's a lot to it. So, when we were trying to go from, 30, 40 deals a year and make the jump to 60 or 70, managing people is not that fun, and it's not that easy, and what I'm finding, Brant, as I'm getting older, learning more, just getting a little wiser. You know, we were in 2 states flipping houses. And so we had a staff of, you know, I don't know, 3 or 4 contracting crews, pretty regularly, steady all the time. And our inner office staff. It's just very inefficient compared to what eXp's created. And, you know, there's 3 kinds of leverage. There's labor leverage, and then there's financial, and there's technology. And there's more than that. But for those 3, you know, labor leverage, people think, oh, I'm going to hire a bunch of people and that's how I'm going to get rich. Well, you have to get them to want to follow you, say yes, and be productive without leaving. Okay. And then financial leverage, of course, we use that in real estate, and it's great and it is scalable. No doubt about that. But technology leverage is so much more powerful. And because I don't have a finance background, not a computer background, I never thought that I would be able to access the wealth that's being created with technology leverage. And so when I saw the technology leverage that was being taken place, I can pay $85 a month and have a bolt-on business and have access to 700 employees in the cloud. I thought to myself, here's my opportunity to use all this real estate experience I already have, partner with eXp in growing and scaling my business. I tried to scale the other way with leases and office furniture and all this stuff. And I've already scaled faster in the short amount of time I've been with eXp than I did for 3 years having an office.
Yeah.
So, and that's okay. You know, so like just find the winners, find the people who created the great platform. And I think there's 2 ways that you can really benefit from technology. First, all the companies right now, if you look at the top 10 most valuable companies, most of them have a technology component. It's probably not going to go away. So you have 1 or 2, 3 choices. Either totally get left behind and you're broke your whole life. Number 2, you go and write and create the technology, or you partner and work with somebody and plug into their technology. And that's what we're choosing to do. And based on the bank account and the math, it's working.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
And I don't say this all the time. Thank God for you. Because when I got to know you and you explained this model and I saw how this wasn't, you weren't just, oh yeah, I'm just full-time eXp, because, you know, I didn't want to do that. I want to do my other stuff. I like my publishing. I like my investing. But when I saw you do it, and I'm like, you know, you got a lot of offers out there too. You could be doing a lot of things. I do too. So it's like, okay, now wait a second. Why are you doing this? And then, guys, it's real simple. If you haven't had a math equation, you know, like, hey, I'm a math teacher, algebra. But whoever you choose, make sure it's somebody who's really pro and they show you the math, because the math doesn't lie.
Yeah.
So I agree. Hey, better late than never. We figured it out, Brant.
Better late than never. I've met with so many people in the last month, just in the last month, that I spoke to a year and a half ago, who've finally decided, all right, we're ready to go. You're right. Well, Max, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you sharing everything with everybody. Guys, reach out to Max. If you're an agent, you're an investor, you've got some questions, you're curious to see what that math looks like, you're curious to learn more about medical benefits, lead generation, revenue share, agent ownership, book publishing, any of those things, reach out to Max. His information, you either see it on this page or in the comments, depending on where you're viewing it at. But reach out to Max. Take a few minutes of your time. I think you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to your future to look at the eXp model and what we're doing specifically with our team to grow our businesses here at eXp. Well, thanks for coming on, Max. I really appreciate it.
You too, Brant. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Y'all take care. Boom.